The job in cybersecurity or tech or whatever it is a lonely one. Why are you here?
It's kind of the right time at the right place. A year before we had that first call, my wife had breast cancer. That was my life, was getting her everything she needed. My health was I just did enough to make sure that I was taking care of myself so I didn't just hit burnout. So there's a saying, for those who have a Ranger tab, it's harder to bear the tab than to earn it. So even though it's hard to earn, once you earn it, you carry that standard and expectation with you for like the rest of your life.
Okay.
Like everything you do is like, is this the standard that a Ranger would uphold? My background's a little different. I like to work out, having been in the military. I kind of knew getting into it is gonna be very like community driven. Coming out of high school, I was a basketball player. And then in college, it was in the Army, ROTC stuff. Stumbled into CrossFit, enjoyed that, but I enjoyed the strongman. It was more the community that I really liked. The gym shut down, I moved out of the area, and then I took up running just because, why not? But what I did start to do is I started listening to the We Hack Health podcast, and I started to realize like, man, I'm doing good, but I need more. I need more energy. I'm getting a little too heavy. Having somebody like yourself to hold me accountable, tell me the things I don't know, or the things that I do know.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need more knowledge, you just need reminding.
Yes. If you're coaching yourself, you have an idiot for a coach.
Yeah.
I'm the hardest person for standards on myself. In the corporate world, like, I was comfortable. I started to realize, like, well, I'm miserable. I get to the end of the day and I didn't do anything, but I'm still smoked. And I started to realize, like, if I want to like be the best cybersecurity coach or being in a better spot physically, just the confidence-wise, the energy-wise, and then just being able to be truly in the moment just makes me that much better of a consultant.
Yo, today we sit down with former US Army Ranger Patrick. He mentioned it's harder to bear the tab than to earn it. Today, we talk about consistency and goal setting, long-term thinking, and your ability to do hard things. Since Patrick has joined, he is resetting the standard of We Hack Health. Let's get into it. So, Patrick, thanks for joining me. I want to start at right now. This is obviously your first event. In the grand scheme of things, relatively early on in the journey, we're in your 12th week. First impressions, events, not me, of the event. Like what you expected, did you have expectations come in, what was delivered?
Well, I generally do my homework.
Okay.
So I saw, kind of the highlights of previous events. So I kind of knew getting into it is going to be very like community driven, a lot of group activities. Not everybody just disappears and shows up at times and then disappears again. So that very much was what I expected. And I'm glad this one has been about the lifting at times. Because I've been working so hard, I didn't want to get here and then like take a vacation where you just do all the opposite of what you do.
Yeah, fair, yeah.
Like I wanted to come over here and have a good time while doing it healthy. Mm-hmm. So that's very much been living up to what I was looking for. And
so far, so good then?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get on at the beach this morning?
Oh, the beach. Well, my background's a little different.
Okay.
So I like to work out, but like having been in the military and going through a couple different schools of like the tough guy stuff.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older and I've checked that box.
Not interested anymore?
Time for other folks to check the box.
Okay.
But it was good because we had that mental training about the chimp.
Yep.
And I told Jason, like, all right, I'm going to have to get my chimp in line. Because as soon as you're like, put the face camo on.
Yeah.
I was like, no, thank you. That's not what I said, but
yeah.
But then I calmed down. I'm like, I've checked this box. The other folks, they need to check that box. Mm-hmm. So then I just went to work and made sure it wasn't me being a stick in the mud.
Fair. So you just participated?
Yeah. So once I got through that, I was like, oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to get sand in places I don't want sand. And having been in a desert for a period of time, I'm cool never having sand in places like that.
Well, I guess you've never had Irish sand.
Yeah. Yours is much better. It's more peaceful.
Yeah, true. Okay, cool. So you mentioned your background's a little bit different, and I will talk more on a training experience. This isn't your first rodeo whenever it comes to pursuit in some sort of health and fitness. Did you mention at some point you were a CrossFit instructor to me?
Yeah, for like a year and a half.
So is that you're coming in to fucking take my job or what?
Well, if you want me to. No.
Perfect.
No.
So you've done CrossFit stuff, you've done strongman stuff. What else?
Well, coming out of high school, I was a basketball player.
Okay.
So like traditional, like strength training. This was like the 90s. So it was like take creatine, go lift weights.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That was all of the advice.
Yeah, basically. I summed up the 90s.
Yeah.
And then in college, it was in the Army ROTC stuff is very much body, push-ups, squats. But then the lifting was the same, like 3 sets of whatever, 4 sets of whatever. Not a lot of Olympic lifts or anything. And that was really the style that I kind of come up through. And then got banged up and was more PT focused of trying to figure out how to uncluster a few places.
Yeah.
And then stumbled into CrossFit. Mostly, he became my friend. He was the owner of the gym. Okay. And then enjoyed that, but I enjoyed the strongman. It was more the community that I really liked about the CrossFit. It was less about the CrossFitting.
Yeah.
It was more about having that community of people that show up and you're pushing each other. And then gym shut down. I moved out of the area, and then I took up running just because why not?
I can give you many reasons why not, but you know what? If you're happy doing it, that's okay.
Yeah. So that's probably the short version.
Okay, cool. I laughed a couple of weeks ago. I think it was maybe week 10 or something, and we said in the group call, like, I every time I'm doing your check-in, I'm like, I can't believe Patrick's only been around for fucking 10 weeks. I feel like you've been a part of this forever. And a couple of the guys were laughing, like, did I bring you in as a ringer? Because you've just come in and fucking executed on it. And I'll go slightly before that. We obviously had a call probably about 6 months before we actually began. So, first of all, with the knowledge and the experience that you have, why are you here?
It's kind of the right time at the right place. So a year before we had that first call, no, let me see. What was that? 2 years. Whatever it was. My wife had breast cancer. And so for that year, that was my life, was getting her everything she needed, taking her where she needed to go. So my health was kind of, I just did enough to make sure that I was taking care of myself so I didn't just hit burnout. Mm-hmm. But what I did start to do is I started listening to the We Hack Health podcast, and I would walk 2 miles to town to get a coffee, a latte, by the way, for those extra calories. And I'd put the podcast in, mm-hmm. walk 2 miles, walk home 2 miles, and then I would listen to it on the way to the doctor. Mm-hmm. And then while my wife was getting chemo, I'd be in the Jeep with like 4 dogs or 3 dogs we had, listening to the podcast and working. And now it started to kind of be like, I need something more to push myself. Mm-hmm. And then also we live in a pretty remote area. And I was like, I enjoyed CrossFit because of the community. Like, I know if I have to, I do this and I grow my bicep. If I do push-ups, I'm going to get stronger chest. Like, mm-hmm. I get all that, but it's that extra piece of like the brotherhood, the camaraderie mm-hmm. and the accountability that comes with it. Mm-hmm. And I really felt, just listening to the podcast, I kind of got a sense that that was the case. And then the big thing is too, is the accountability. Like, I think I told you something along the lines of, if you're coaching yourself, you have an idiot for a coach.
Yeah.
And that was a big piece too, is having somebody like yourself to hold me accountable. And then also just tell me the things I don't know, or the things that I do know. I just need somebody to be like, hey, do what you said you're going to do, or what you know you should do.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't need more knowledge. You just need reminding.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
that's fair.
Yeah. So at the time I talked to you, I had just quit my corporate job like a month prior.
Nice.
Spent money on solar panels and a new truck and going self-employed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to do this, but I just don't have the funds to like mm-hmm. get it through. And then you showed me your check-in.
Yeah.
Like, this is how I do it. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. So like I tried to like copy it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to try that, because I was using a notebook.
Right, okay.
With all my daily items, and I tried to check them off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, spreadsheet's way better. That's brilliant. It's a spreadsheet.
He's a genius.
He's unlocked the mystery of health. Formulas? Oh, shit. Yeah, I can do formulas. What the hell? Which is ironic, since I work in tech, I should have thought about that. But when I would make some progress, but it was really inconsistent.
Okay.
And then running my business, I started to realize, like, man, I'm doing good, but I need more. Like, I need more energy. I'm getting a little too heavy. I can do better. I need to set a bar that I'm going to go chase. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, screw it. I'm going to invest in myself, bet on myself.
Yeah.
And
so here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Fair. I think you mentioned a couple of things there. So first of all, the sort of solitude piece, generally from the people I work with, the job in cybersecurity or tech or whatever it is a lonely one. Like, okay, yes, you work on teams, but you work by yourself. The self-employed thing, also lonely. I'm like, I'm coming up with all these ideas that I think are fucking cool, but I'm doing all this work. I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. So they're coming into being a part of things. But I think the main thing, just from everything you've said, like, you're quite obviously not a person who's afraid to do difficult things. We spoke 2 weeks ago. You asked me a question that usually I wouldn't go down the rabbit hole of answering. I would
That was the second time I asked you, though.
Did you say that the first time around when we had the first
Yeah.
call? What answer did I give you the first time
You
around?
said those are professional actors and they're influencers.
Okay.
They get paid and their life is to do that stuff.
Yeah. That's generally the answer that I would give. But after 10 weeks, I'm like, okay, right, I feel like this guy has the thing to execute on that. So I just mathed it out. I broke it down for him. And I was like, okay, right, well, this is what it's going to take. And we decided it's probably a 2.5 year time frame. So you have that longer thinking, which is often difficult. And especially in this space, because I see, on socials and other coaches, like, they're fucking selling the shortest amount of time to do the thing as possible. And we're having a conversation about, okay, right, well, this is going to take you 2.5 years. And you're like, okay, I'm in. You want to do it because you want to challenge yourself in a different way. So where does that come from? Where does that desire for challenge come from?
Oh, man.
This wasn't on my list, but here we are.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I've actually kind of thought about that because I do a lot of like reflection and journaling and trying to figure out, like, why am I frustrated? Or why am I not content? Like, I feel like I have a drive, I need to do something. And I literally ask those questions of myself and write out my answers. And I always look back, it's when I set a really high bar. So like all college was about getting in shape to go to Ranger school.
Okay.
It was a challenge, but it was also a purpose, because to be the best infantry leader of men in combat that I could be, I felt the bare minimum I could do for them was to achieve getting a Ranger tab.
Okay.
Like, I had done enough work and earned some credibility that now I don't instantly get their respect, but I put in the work that now I'm in a position to then truly earn the respect and have the responsibility to be in that leadership role.
Yeah.
And that's like the challenge that I pushed towards. Took care of that. And then deployment to Iraq was kind of similar, where an ultimate challenge of how do we bring all of these guys back home alive? I don't care what the actual mission was. That was my mission.
Okay, yeah.
Accomplished that. And then kind of got a little lost coming out of the military, because like, how do you find a similar type of like challenge? I got into obstacle racing for a little while, the Tough Mudders, the Warrior Dashes, and that was kind of close. And then it kind of took me years because I couldn't figure out why. Like, what about that? And then when I started to kind of get back into things, when I hit like a heavy weight that I was like, oh, this is too heavy. Like, I was like 286 pounds at one point. I'm like, not healthy. And for whatever reason, if it's just, if I run every day, it's good for my heart and my cardio. If I lift every day, I get more muscle and I can live longer. Something about that just doesn't, it seems almost too easy.
Okay.
And, or it's too average, where I need to have, like, I set a marathon last year, because it's hard. Like, I need something to be like, I need to outwork other folks. Like, if it's something that everybody's doing and everybody can do, it's almost like, I know I can do it, but that's just not enough. I need to do something where there's a chance that I'm going to fail. Or if I do succeed, I'm going to feel like I really earned it. Like, it was worth the journey. And there is a journey. Sometimes the easy stuff is really not a journey. So I don't know if I can really say why.
That was going to be saying, I was like, those are all cool words, and like, I'm in for the story, but why?
I think it's how I'm wired is the best way I can describe it. There's something about my wiring, the way that, like, if it doesn't involve hard work and like digging in and breaking a sweat, like, it just doesn't get me out of bed.
Okay. Fair. I mean, I get it. I don't think I can give you the why either, and I have tried to unpack this many times, and even Matt and I sat here yesterday and I tried to unpack it, and I was like, I can tell you these words in this similar format, but I just can't give you the why on So we set the goal, and truthfully, for being 10 weeks in, you had already made really good progress. And as I said, you just came in and executed on things. There was no fucking about. Like, even before this, I went and had a look at your Google Drive, and like, we start with 3 folders in your Google Drive and your check-in sheet. You have got 10. I'm like, this guy, like every single detail. So it was like previous experience, your sort of fitness experience before in terms of progress. This is what I looked like whenever I felt like this. This is what I looked like. Fucking blood work. We have journals of you vlogging the whole thing that I asked you about. We have the nutrition piece. Like, every detail is in there. I'm like, this is it for me, because the more that I in the nicest way possible, the more that you're in, the more that I'm in, because like, this is how I feel about things. I'm like, okay, well, this is sort of the baseline, but like, how can I make this more for myself and for the experience in general? So I guess back to that, you had made pretty good progress in the first 10 weeks. We are now just over 12 weeks in, and you have lost, I have 33 pounds here, which again, for that time frame, really respectable. There's been a shift since we had that call already, and it's a fucking long way away for the thing. So 2 things. Number 1, what was the shift? What have you learnt? And number 2, how do you comprehend those longer term goals? Because people struggle to, think about, like, I don't know how to break down a goal that's going to take me 3 months, and we're now looking at fucking 2.5 years.
Yeah, well, I think it's one, like anything, it's repetition. Like, having done hard challenges in the past, it wasn't like I was like, oh, going to Ranger School tomorrow, gonna get in shape.
Yeah.
Or running a marathon. It wasn't like I was like, I'm going to sign up for the marathon next month.
Yeah.
I picked those things knowing that it is a journey to get yourself into the position to do the final step of that journey. And then, because once I realized that too, it's almost like a reverse where I know failure is going to be really awful. Like, if I try to run a marathon and I don't train for it, could I finish? Most likely. Will I finish in the time I want? Probably not. Will my legs cramp up? And I don't want to be that guy who's like limping and like, it's hour 6. Good. Perseverance. That's awesome.
Everybody's went home, that sort of.
Yeah. I don't want to, like, one person's waiting there with the stretcher. Like, is this guy going like, and I don't want to be, I want to do it and push myself and be uncomfortable, but I don't want to be like uncomfortable because I didn't do the work to put myself in the position to be uncomfortable pursuing like excellence.
Yeah.
So when I think about it that way, I say, okay, well, what do I have to do to not be in that position? And that's where I start breaking down the work. And then having done that enough, I realize, like, it's not like I go to bed and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like 2 minutes faster, or I lost 10 pounds today. Like, I know it doesn't work that way. Yeah. And I started to, at some point, I don't know when it was in the last few years, I started to realize that it's about making as many good decisions throughout the course of the day. And the more good decisions I have versus decisions that are not aligned with my goals, the better. And I don't have to make them all perfect. I just need more in this column.
Yeah.
And that's where mentally it started to change for me of like, all right, I just have to trust if I do these things, the results will start to be there. And that's the same approach I took with this. I'm like, because I'd done my sleep for years. Cool. But I didn't have my nutrition down. Or I do a shit ton of running, but I wasn't lifting. And my weight still hovered like 280, 260. Even when I ran the marathon last year after running 500 miles, I was still at 249. And I thought that was awesome. But I wasn't doing my nutrition very well. And then this year, with the program, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do what Ben says.
Good. That's a good start. That is a great start in any coaching relationship. For anybody who's listening that is a client of mine or is thinking about it or has a coach, that's the place to start.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm going to trust the process. He knows what he's talking about. And I knew enough that I couldn't do just one thing on the daily tracker. Like, if I didn't lift and I just did the nutrition and the cardio, like, yeah, could I do the marathon? Yeah. But it's not going to get me to a place where I'm truly like strong. I have more muscle mass for longevity, all of that stuff. And I also am like, well, I need to get more muscle mass to burn more calories based on listening to the podcast, you know? So I'm like, well, I have to do all of these things consistently, not perfect, but damn near perfect if I want the best chance to be in the best shape possible for the marathon. So that was a big piece of it. And then the piece for me that was the toughest was the nutrition side. Like I've always ate clean. I just ate a lot. So I would just eat a shit ton of steaks, but it almost became this thing that I was known for. Like people were like, "Oh, you're gonna feed us Tatro-sized servings?" Yeah. It was like the thing. If people come over to my house, they would get like all the venison, all the pheasant, like whatever they haven't had before. I will make sure you get all you want.
Like a banquet.
Yeah,
nice.
A feast.
I'm in. Can't wait for that. We'll have to go to Patrick's house for that.
Oh yeah, I'll make sure to start filling the freezer. But it almost became like that expectation that they had for me, which I then made my own expectation. So I was like, "Oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat." Well, that was part of the problem. Is I was eating more calories than I was burning. So the nutrition piece was the biggest challenge of like, all right, I got to start figuring out how do I start translating everything I'm doing for the food I'm grabbing out of the fridge and prepping to like, is this a good decision or is this going to go in the not great decision column? And it took me a few weeks, not too many, but a couple of navigating like, okay, this was a good decision. This day had more in this column. And that's how I start to view it, as like the progress is going to happen in the 2 years if I start to just think of like, I can only make a decision for here and now. So let me make the best decision now, and then I'll worry about the next one when I get to it, and then just start stacking.
Yeah, fair. It's the, it's been an evolution as well. Like you say, you didn't absolutely nail it right away in terms of the decisions, and there's a couple of things you came to me and you're like, you're quite honest about the things that you know that weren't necessarily the best decision. But we have seen the shift, and you'll come and be like, oh, I changed this for this, or we've done that, and whatever. Your super scientific way of tracking food that worked. Like it wasn't a case of it didn't work, and I think that's a big piece. But since you shifted to weighing out your food, like number one, you're learning a lot more about the foods. Number two, there has been more progress because we've really been able to refine that. So I think that the value piece in this for anybody listening is number one, like it doesn't need to be like everything's way to the gram. Find a system that works for you in terms of being able to track whatever the thing is. There will be different levels to that, and whatever works for you is absolutely fine. The second thing is the being able to sort of accept that, okay, I'm going to do my best to make the best decisions that I can on this day and be able to make better decisions as the time comes, with the intent that compounding over time, there will be more good decisions in a day than bad decisions. There's also been times that you can hear like the pizza conversation. I'm not in any way like pizza is good, like eat pizza, that's fine.
You have to mention the specific pizza, and it starts to blend together.
Well, no, it was the local place that does it seasonally, and it was the last one. And But I think that the real value in that is understanding that you can also do those things. And for me, it's when I come to making decisions, I'm like, is this in line with my goal or not? Yes or no? If the answer is no, it's is it worth it or not? And sometimes the answer is yes. And whether it is, an event like this that, maybe we'll drink a margarita potentially, or if it is, like you said, time with your wife that you're just fucking having a pizza, that's something that you do, it's a regular thing for you, or whatever it is. Like it's okay to do those things too, because I think when people go into this, they're like, I can't have all of my favorite things, I can't live my normal life, I can't do all of these things, it's like super restrictive. So being able to do it in a way that you can still do those things and be okay with making those things that you don't necessarily think is like in line with the goal, and that's what really allows progress to happen over a longer period of time. Now, I'll maybe not be saying that whenever it's 2 years and 4 months away and I'm like, bro, stop fucking eating pizza, we gotta go here. But for right now, it works, and it's something that you can do longer term. Just to sort of touch quickly on the business side, because obviously you run a business, what within everything that you've done and experience and the ability to do hard things, number one, wanted you to start a business in the first place? Because a lot of people like the idea of it, not that many people action it. The people who do then go, fuck, this was not the fucking thing that I thought it was going to be. Oh shit. Do you think everything that you've been through and done up until that point had helped you make that decision and helps you as a business owner?
Yeah. and even in some ways, it's not what folks would maybe expect. Is that like some of the biggest challenges or failures I had in my corporate career influenced it. Mm-hmm. Not like, oh, I suck at corporate, I'm getting out of corporate. It was, I am very like, I'm the hardest person for standards on myself. Mm-hmm. Like any feedback you give me isn't going to hurt my feelings because it's probably a fraction of how hard I am on myself, which is good and bad. And so from a leadership perspective, I tend to gravitate towards wanting to be with those types of individuals as a team and being like, let's go. Mm-hmm. And so in the corporate world, sometimes you don't have that. And you're working with folks that are like, you know what? It is a job.
Yeah, I'm here for a paycheck.
Right.
That's okay.
And that's perfectly okay. And there's times where I probably could have done a better job of understanding and recognizing that. But I'm also the type of person where if the boss says the objective is this, we're going to accomplish the objective. Whether I'm pushing you up the hill or you're going up yourself or I'm pulling you, we're going to get up the hill. I don't care. And so that was a lesson I learned where like, you know what, sometimes in the corporate life, you roll the dice and sometimes it's not about accomplishing the objective because it's a job. And I started to ask myself, like, why was I miserable in those situations? Or why did we not accomplish the objective? But reverse engineering that to the point of like, you know what, it wasn't so much about reaching the objective because like in the grand scheme of things in corporate life, like sometimes that's not the point. Mm-hmm. Because I had a boss who's like, I want you to go to meetings that are a waste of time. It's perfectly okay. Literally, you're getting paid to go to these meetings and do nothing. Everybody is. Okay. And that was where I was like connecting the dots of like, that's not who I am. Like, good for them. I don't want to be in a meeting and waste time.
This could have been an email, that one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's everybody over here.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to go punch the clock, cool, go do that. But, and then of like, well, I push myself so hard and I want to do hard things. I started to realize like finding a team that does that in a very specific aspect of cybersecurity in a company who embraces that is pretty rare because security is usually overhead. You do it to protect the company, not because the company does security.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Like they build beds, they sell TVs. Mm-hmm. They're not cybersecurity experts. Mm-hmm. And that makes complete sense. So I was like, well, if I don't want to drift around trying to find a team of like other hard chargers who want to just kick ass and like be the best. My only other option is to do my own business. And I went through like, should I hire folks? Right now, I'm not planning to. Like somebody was like, what if I went to an entrepreneur boot camp and they're like, oh, you do a lifestyle business. You're a one-person shop and your business is just you and as big as you can make it. I'm like, yeah, that's a thing.
Somebody said to me lifestyle business recently and I was almost offended. I was like, I mean, I know what I do. I get the concept and I understand, but like, this isn't the lifestyle that people would want. Like, but sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So at first I was like, no, I'm not a lifestyle business. Yeah. I was thinking like people who sell perfume or something on the internet, a social influencer, right? Like, no offense to perfume sales. Yeah. It's amazing work. So at first I was taken back, but then I started to think there's a lady who went on Shark Tank and her business model was like her giving, was it dating advice? She has a one-person business doing like multi-million dollars in revenue. Yeah. And I was like, okay, if that's a lifestyle business, you can sign me up for that.
Yeah, sounds good. I meant
right?
Yeah.
So that was the evolution of getting to the point where I'm like, wait, so the challenge that I can do is be the biggest lifestyle business cybersecurity consultant coaching business that I can. Mm-hmm. Like, that sounds cool. Mm-hmm. I can push myself as hard and as fast and pursue whatever I want. And I don't have to like pull people along with me. And if I get to a point where I can add other folks into a team model, great. But if not, if I can do $1 million in revenue, like that's my goal. Like, can I do a one-person business in this line of work and hit that goal? Like that to me is like a...
On your own terms though, I think is the thing. There's nobody dictating, like you can do it in the way that you want to do it. Mm-hmm. And there's a freedom in that. And I think just sort of, you know what you said there about sort of looking, and this is how this in a sense came about how We Hack Health came about. I was sort of trying to find a room that I felt like I wanted to be in. And I had a conversation, the person said to me, why don't you create your own room? And I was like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then here we are. And well, now we're actually in a room, right? Who knew?
Yeah.
But I think that's sort of similar to what you're saying. You just made your own fucking room.
Oh yeah. Well, in part, there's another aspect. The marathon changed a lot of stuff. Where through that course of training last year and getting to the marathon, I realized like in the corporate world, like I was comfortable. Mm-hmm. And I was chatting with my brother who's self-employed, and I was like, yeah, it's such easy money and it's safe, but I'm too comfortable where like I'm not pushing myself, and when I'm not pushing myself, I'm not thinking about. I'm making a lot of decisions that are going in the not so great decision on a daily basis, but I'm still getting the same level of reward and a paycheck that is pretty good.
Yeah.
For like barely any effort, but I start to realize like, well, I'm miserable. I get to the end of the day and I didn't do anything, but I'm still smoked, like emotionally and mentally, because I'm not pursuing like what, drives me, and what refuels my battery. And I was like, if I want to, I'm not too old where I'm ready to like be that comfortable. So the nice thing about the self-employment route is like, it is high risk. Like if I don't land business, like, yeah, I don't get paid.
Straight up. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of an important deal.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be uncomfortable again because I wanted to have that feeling of like, oh shit, yeah, I suppose I could fail. Oh shit, yeah, I did fail. I didn't get any sales out of that conference. That's not how that's supposed to work.
Yeah.
So like, I got to do a better job. Like, what can I do better? But it gets me out of this state of just too comfortable where you're not like, to me, it's like I'm not living, like just going through the motion.
Yeah.
So all those things came together to be like self-employment. I've got a clear objective, quantifiably with the revenue goal. I like to plan. So I can do my planning, like, hey, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and we're going to get there. And then if shit hits the fan and it goes completely sideways, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to adjust my plan and see if I can get this thing going again.
Yeah.
And then every day I wake up and I actually say, like, what am I thinking? Like, God, am I on the right path? Like, did I make a terrible decision? But then I'm like, no, I believe in this thing.
Yeah.
Dismiss it. Like Sean says, like, oh yeah, acknowledge the thought.
Just set that thought down.
Yeah. Like, yeah, okay, cool, brain, whatever. But I'm going to be uncomfortable. Like, screw you. Let's go.
Yeah.
So.
Fair. I think, from what you're saying is a lot of the things that you recognized in situations, it seems to come down to identity. Like you mentioned, I'm not that person, or, it didn't fulfill you, you're exhausted. So I think that you're definitely on the right track with that. Has the business thing been what you thought it was going to be?
About 90% it has been.
Okay.
So again, like I do my research whenever I can.
Yeah.
I'm always listening. Like I got friends that are self-employed in different industries. When I pick their brains, and even just small business failure rates is super high. So a lot of it was exactly what I expected. Some of the areas that I didn't expect is I underestimated like marketing and sales. Like I knew the concepts, like, oh yeah, but I underestimated like the art and the work you have to do. But that was awesome because I was like, oh, let me figure out how to improve in this area. So like right away I start to go to work of like, all right, what am I going to do differently? So for the most part, it really lined up. Some positive, like I actually didn't think that going self-employed would be as big a motivation to get my health like back as an objective as it did. But I think that was part of like being super comfortable in a corporate job, almost like made it okay. Where like, oh yeah, I don't do a whole lot of hard work. Like I don't have to show up like focused. Like I can sleep through my job basically.
Yeah.
Where after a few months of being self-employed, of like seeing success, but being like, I'm not going to get to this revenue goal if I don't bring more energy, I don't get more stuff done. Or just I think leadership, it's part about your attitude, your presence, and how you affect other folks. And whether that's in a room when you're working with folks or on a phone call or virtual call, like leadership is as much as like how you present yourself and the energy that you bring. I start to realize like if I want to like be the best cybersecurity coach or advisor to customers, like I need to be as on as possible every time I interact with them. Because I don't want them to think that like they tell me something, I'm like, oh geez, that's a bad situation.
Yeah.
Like you're effed. like that's the opposite. I want to be able to hear what they're saying, convey confidence and calm to them, and let to acknowledge like, oh yeah, that's not ideal, but you're doing a good job. So tell me what you did. What options do you have? All right, cool. Now let's go to work. So being in a better spot physically, just the confidence wise, the energy wise, and then just being able to be truly in the moment just makes me that much better of a consultant. So that was kind of unexpected to see how fast I went from that December meeting of like, oh yeah, I liked your idea. That'd be cool to work with you, Ben, but I don't know if I can really sign up for that right now. To like a few months later, I'm like, oh, fuck it. If I don't sign up for this, I don't think I'm going to hit that goal. Like I need to invest my time and my effort and my resources into my health to get me back to like pushing harder.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I mean, I think it's a good note to sort of wrap up on like something I mentioned, on Wednesday morning, like, there's a standards thing that I think goes across the board. And when you hold yourself to a higher standard in your health and in your fitness, it filters in. And like you said, in the corporate world, you didn't have to hold yourself to that standard because you could get away with it when you were in work. So that obviously filters in too. Thanks for sitting down. Thanks for coming in and just resetting the standard within, because I know that people are like, well, fucking hell, like this guy's only brand new and he's fucking getting all this shit done. I'm looking forward to having many more of these conversations. Before you go, we're totally ripping off the fucking Diary of a CEO questions. So I have a question for you from the last person that I have not read.
So there's a saying for those who have a Ranger tab, it's harder to bear the tab than to earn it. So even though it's hard to earn, once you earn it, you carry that standard and expectation with you for like the rest of your life.
Okay.
Like everything you do is like, well, is this the standard that a Ranger would uphold?
Yeah.
And that's been a good driver because like whenever I do something, I'm like, well, if the standard is to complete the daily check-ins and have it to you by Sunday morning or whatever it is, well, shit, I have to do that because that's what a Ranger would do.
Yeah.
So it's been a good additional way to like have that standard for life. At first I heard that saying many, many years ago. I was like, oh, how can just bearing it be harder than actually earning it? And I was like, oh yeah, that is it holds true.
Yeah. And I noticed last night, generally, the consensus whenever we have these events, like if they don't do their check-in, that's fine, because we'll have a conversation. But you were sat at the table, Phil. I saw you filling out your check-in sheet. I'm like, yes, this is exactly it. This is why he has made the progress, and this is why I know that we will nail that goal, because there is no off. You do the stuff because you said you would do the stuff, and that's what the expectation is. So I appreciate that also. On your question, if you could only choose to hear or see for the rest of your life, which would you choose and why?
Oh, this one, I'm going to be a little biased because I have tinnitus from getting blown up, so my ears ring nonstop.
Okay.
So like my hearing's okay-ish. So I haven't been able to hear super great, and there's always a ringing. So like, fuck it, I don't need hearing. So probably eyesight.
Okay.
Like I would want to keep my eyesight.
Yeah, fair.
Because I think without hearing, I'd have to learn Braille. Like I'm already going through like how would I get to like do.
What's the process here?
I'm already setting
what's
goals.
What's the next thing I need to do?
Like how
long is this process going to take me?
Yeah, I was like, how can I deer hunt if I'm blind or if I can't hear?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's going to be really hard to deer hunt if I can't see as well.
Fair. Cool.
Yeah.
Right, dude. As I said, thank you so much. I will get you now to write your question for the next person.
I just come up with any question?
Yeah. You're on the spot now to write a fucking question. Damn.